Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Kiki Loves Nigeria. I think this is my first time seeing you guys this week. Well, it's a pleasure always to see you guys, and it's a pleasure to be back live with you guys. So, look, my name is Kiki Loves Nigeria, and I'm about to put some lotion on my hands so they won't be rusty because I can't stand rusty hands. So, my name is Kiki Loves Nigeria, and I am the host of this show. And tonight, we are going to talk about something. Well, we're going to respond to a message that I received. And I thought that message was rather interesting. And I said, well, let me share this message with the community so we can talk about it and see what they have to say about it, what they think about it. And while I was thinking about that message, I also was getting messages about the house that was, the properties that were demolished in Ghana. So I got messages about those also. So I did a little more research on that to find out what was going on with that. And with the house in, I remember the one that was tore down last year, the Wellness Center. All right, I did a little more research on that and found out a little more about that because I didn't know what happened with that situation. So all of this started making me think, I wonder what happened with that situation. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I also received a message about a lady. Her name is Michelle, not sincerely Michelle. It's another Michelle. And oh, she just got taken advantage of really bad. So I just thought all that was really interesting with what KWAME had to say. You know, that all these experiences that these repats are going through, but somehow, I don't know, I guess it's their fault. I guess, I don't know. I don't know if that's what he was trying to say or what, but we're going to talk about that. All right. So, my name's Kiki Loves Nigeria. Like I said, and on this show, we talk about everything that impacts you going to West Africa, mainly West Africa, but really all Africa. Visiting, repatriating, expatting, whatever, we talk about it on here. All right. So tonight we are talking about, like I told you, I received this message and I thought it was rather interesting, his position. And I said, wow, this needs to be talked about. So let me get this out the way. This live stream is presented for the purpose of commentary, criticism, education, and public discussion. Under the Fair Use Doctrine, the views expressed on Kiki Loves Nigeria are opinions and interpretations based on publicly available information, firsthand testimony, and media reporting. All right, which that makes it a factual analysis and it's not gossip, people. Somehow y'all don't know the difference between a fact and an opinion. But anyway, where legal matters or administrative processes are ongoing statements are presented as claims, experiences, or official explanations, not as settled facts. So basically, some of the stuff will be a settled fact, but most of it is not a settled fact, okay? Because this is like happening in real time. Nothing stated in this broadcast constitutes legal immigration, real estate, or investment advice. So I'm not giving any of that. All right. So now that we got that out the way, let's go over here. Let's see what y'all saying. So this newcomer person, what do this newcomer? This newcomer person was on here early, y'all. He says, in in a general sense, Black Americans are used in every country they are in as expats as a backdrop for tourism to make money off of other Black Americans as an expat of that place. That's what new. I'm sorry, his name is New Account. That's what New Account has to say. So he feels like they're making money off each other. Hi, brown skin. Hey, T and K. How you feel? Hey, Debo, how you feel? TNK, are you doing okay? My peaceful. Oh, you're talking to somebody. Hey, how you doing? My peaceful corner. That's a nice name. Susan. Hey, Susan. I'm glad to see you too. Uh, TNK says, welcome to Kiki's School of Life. Please hit the like button. And on your way in, just go ahead and hit the like button. But y'all know what? There's something you can do to hype the video, but I forgot what that was. I don't know what you do to hype the video, but if one of y'all know what to do to hype the video, let's hype the video because that helps the video get out. That helps YouTube know this is a good message and we need to get this out. I know I haven't seen myself on here in a long time either. So I was like, oh, wow, it's been a long time, but let me take these glasses off. So I said the same thing when I came on. I was like, wow, it's been a long time, but I'm not going to stay away that long anymore. All right, now, let me go over here. So, like I said, there is a growing narrative online in Black America about the problems that are going on in Ghana. Like it's like all of a sudden Ghana was this really quiet repat place we didn't hear much about. You know, everybody was talking about Gambia. It was Gambia this, Gambia that. But then all of a sudden Gambia got quiet. Then you started hearing, first it was little whispers. And then the whispers got louder. And they got louder. Now those whispers are like roars. And it's like this what's going on in Ghana is wild. And I think it's because there's so much money involved. All right. Whenever there's big sums of money like this, you see these type of behaviors. Okay. So the problem, these are the things that repats are complaining about. This is what the repats are complaining about. Then we're going to get to what KWAME had to say. Okay. So let me tell you their complaints from what I've been hearing. That they inflate the prices on them. We know they do that because that happened to us all the time when you go to Africa. That they exploit the system. We know they do that. We know we know every time you put in a paper, you're gonna pay extra for that paper. We know that. They take more than they give. Well, we kind of know that too. Yeah. So tonight, we're gonna respond. But we're not going to respond with emotions. We're going to think about everything he said, and see if he has valid points, okay? We're going to respond with cases. We're going to respond with receipts, timelines, and firsthand testimonies, because that's what we do, all right? So let's start. So this is the question I have. If Black Americans are gaming the system in Ghana, then why do we repeatedly see this happening? We repeatedly see them overpaying. We repeatedly see them receiving inconsistent information, especially about that citizenship stuff that they want so dearly, and that land stuff. That information is so inconsistent, it is unbelievable. And how they let people become citizens. Then they let that little boy, the little gamer boy, become a citizen. Then they let some stars become citizens. So anybody with money can become a citizen, it seems like, or if you're famous enough. But not those average Black Americans like Kenza, who's over there working, giving everything her little change. No, not them. We don't want them. Your money's not big enough. So that's the first big, humongous inconsistency that we know. That's the second inconsistency we see. We see them losing property. We were told that, they're going to renew the properties, but they didn't. That's not what happened to the Hebrew Israelite people. That property wasn't renewed. They lost that property. They tore that down. And as of today, from what I'm understanding, somebody else is operating on that property. And we're forced in and out of court to defend our basic rights. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing. So we're going to look at what KWAME had to say about that, okay? So let's look at what he had to say. So that's what I'm seeing, and that's what I'm hearing. Okay, and that's what I shared with you guys. So let's see. Let me pull this up because obviously he's seeing and hearing something different. But maybe that don't matter to him, though. You know what I mean? Maybe those things don't matter to him because he doesn't feel like Black Americans contribute enough to that country. All right, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this? All right, hold on. Let me share the screen. Okay. All right. Let me put these glasses on so I can see this. All right. So it says, oh, God, these eyelashes, y'all. These eyelashes and these glasses don't mix. All right. It says, Kwame says, thank God we are stopping this nonsense in Ghana. Stop giving citizenship to just anyone in Ghana. Some Black Americans, I guess he's saying some Black Americans is okay. Ask yourself, have you ever seen Black Americans build housing for local people? And I asked myself after I read that, I said, no, I haven't. Not in massive scales like I've seen, like when I go to Gambia, like that SOS school. That school is huge. And that's owned by some European people. So no, I don't see. Then there's another school, I think, the Turkish school. But I don't see a school, or I don't see things that Black Americans who have built like huge charity projects. I don't see those. So I said, no, I don't. I didn't see them in Nigeria. I didn't see them in Cameroon. And I didn't see them in Gambia. So I'm like, okay, that's I haven't seen that. For me personally, no, I haven't. Okay. This person says HE double hockey sticks. No. What do Americans do in Ghana? And I thought about that. I said, what do Americans do in Ghana? And I said, oh, I know what they do. They do what I say they do all the time. They're concerned about building their little bitty houses. They're concerned about building themselves. That's what they're concerned about. They're not concerned about anybody else. They may try to build some type of industry, but usually those don't work. Now, I think there was, I'm not talking about one or two people who do this. I'm talking about big on a massive scale. Okay, that's what they're looking at. They're not looking at you employ maybe 20 people. No, they're talking about massive development. Okay, so do I see that? No, I don't see that. No, I do not. Okay. It says, what do? They trap their own people with trips to Africa. How embarrassing is that? That this person is saying to us, this is what they do. This is what they do. They don't build charity. They don't do nothing for nobody but themselves. But what do? They trap their own people with trips to Africa. And we know from my channel alone, that is no lie. That is no lie. We're not listening to no African telling us to come to Africa. No. We're listening to our own people telling us that. It's our own people telling us to come to Africa. Come on. It's so cheap. It's so wonderful. It's so lovely. And what did he say? They trap, because that's a lie. Kwame know that's a lie. He's sitting back looking at us like, wow, that's what y'all do. Y'all trap your own people and y'all got the nerve to talk about us? My grandma would call that the pot calling the kettle black. So that's what Kwame's saying. Black Americans are the pot calling the kettle black. They trap their own people. Now let's finish. See what else he got to say. So he says, and even sell citizenship to rip off their own people. Yeah, like them little groups y'all be belonging to, them little societies y'all be belonging to, them people making y'all think they gonna have some type of impact on y'all getting citizenship when it's all a lie. What did Kenza tell us? What did Kenza tell us, y'all? And y'all know I don't never be quoting Kenza, but she was right on this. Because that's wrong the way they did that lady. That lady is old. Oh, Lord, forgive me. That lady's not old. That lady is at a time in her life where she don't have time. She don't have the energy to go back and make up all that money she spent in Ghana. Thinking if I invest all of this, they're going to give me citizenship. And oh, no, no, honey, no. You're just an average person. We don't want you. We want the stellar African Americans. We want the stellar Black Americans. And we really want the Ghanaian Americans. Those are the ones we want. We want them to come back, not you all. But what did he say? You even trick your own people. You sell them that citizenship to rip them off. Because Kwame know you're not getting it like that. He know what's going on. And he's sitting back looking at y'all like, y'all been here. Some of y'all been here for 30 years, 20, 30 years. And y'all know good and dang on well what's going on. But instead of y'all telling y'all people what's going on, y'all sit back and y'all take them for the ride. And then you want to point your fingers at us. You want to point your fingers at us. Isn't that interesting? So let's finish and see what else Kwame got to say. A lot of Black Americans have made Ghana so expensive that local Ghanaians can't even rent property. That part. That part. Do you know it's like that in Gambia? Do you know it's like that in Gambia? I sit there and I think, how is the average Gambian living? How are they surviving? Because so many of us went in there, and I knew that was going to happen. We went in there with all that foreign currency at one time, and we flooded the market. We flooded the market. So you know what happened? Inflation. They rose the prices to keep up with the foreign currency, not with the currency of the people in their country. Because at this point, honey, it's about making money. I'm sorry. It ain't nothing personal. It's about making money. Here's an opportunity to make a whole bunch of money and real quick and real fast. And guess what? We are going to do it. And that's what happened. We came in with all that money. Drove up prices. So guess what? The average person, they can't afford the rent. They can't afford nothing. We barely can afford it now. Okay. Have maids down. Yeah, okay. I agree with that. And local Ghanaians can't even rent property because they build houses and sell them for $500,000. Let me go see what y'all saying. Because this is pissing me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk like that. Because this is bothering me to my core. Because this is what I seen happening in Gambia. This is exactly what I seen over there. You should see it. You should see Gambia. It's unbelievable. From when I first went there to now, and those homes, who's buying them houses? It ain't them. It ain't the Gambians who building them houses. It ain't the. But you know, if it's the Gambians, guess where they are? They in another country. But the average Gambian, they'll never live in them houses. Those houses are for people like me. Those houses are for people like you. They're not for them. They're not for them. And I see Ghana is the same way. So tell me something. How long do y'all think a country can go on like that? How long do you think a country can chase the dollar? How long? And ignore the people? You chasing the dollar, and they've been getting the dollar. They've been getting the dollar very well. Very well. But see, it's just not enough of us to compete with the Chinese. It's just not enough of us to compete with the Indians. It's not enough of us to compete with the Arabs. So our little money is nothing compared to what they can do, because they don't move like we do. And I keep telling y'all that. They go there as a group. They go there with a plan. And the last thing they do is build a personal property, because that's not going to make them no money. They'll all live together in a small little house until they get what they need, and then they'll break off. But we don't do that. We don't do that. And when we see somebody trying to do that, we tear it up. We're going to tear it down. We're going to tear it up and tear it down. So let me go see what y'all saying. Because so far, this is just disturbing. This is just disturbing that somebody, because I think this guy's going to end, from the outside can just look and say, this is what y'all do. So he done sit back and he done study y'all. He done study what we do. And what can you say to this? What can you say? Can you say he lying? No, because he's not. And you can look through my channel and you can see he's not lying. Everything he's saying is true. So how can you complain? How can we complain about getting God when we getting each other God? So how do we complain about that? That's why they do us like that. Because they see what we do to each other. Well, they see. Because a lot of times they're in on it. And they're like, wow, you're going to do this to your own people? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'm going to scam them out the land. Yeah, I don't care if they're elderly. I don't care if they'll never have this money again. I don't care. So people like that, whose hearts are like that, excuse me, Africans know good things don't happen to those type of people. So they feel like you deserve it. Because when I watch the movies about them, not movies, but these documentary about these scammers, you know what they say? We get them, they deserve that. They're greedy. They deserve to be scammed. So let me see what y'all saying. What was that comment up here, y'all? There was a comment up here. Oh, thank you, 10K. I love my ponchos too. When it's cold, and it's so cold. It is so cold, y'all. But guess what? Next week when I go back, y'all know it's going to be in the 30s and 40s. God is good. Because I cannot stand it. I hate the cold. Hey. How you doing, sweetie? Hey, everybody. Hey there, Sherry. Thank you, sweetie. She says, this person says, if anyone knows I don't know how to hype up the daggone video. Y'all, if y'all know how to do it, tell me how to do it, because I don't know how. I know I'm supposed to tell y'all how to do it, but when he told us how to do it, I'm sorry, y'all. I must have not been paying attention, because I sure forgot. Some of the expats, others, yes, I know what you're saying, Nana. Some of them are sex pats. He's right. Others are exploiting fellow Americans. He's right. And the rest complain about our visa process. And he's right. He's right. Yeah. That's pretty much it. And then they'll say, well, you have those who are, not the okay. Okay, but those are far and few between. There may be some, but I'm sorry, most of them, they're not right. they are not right. And I don't know why Africa draws people like that. Once the live is over, a hype button should come up. Okay, thank you, sweetie, because we don't know. I'm going to have to go back and figure that out. But I know that was one of my assignments to tell you how to hype the video. Yes, the hype button is near the comments after the live finishes. Okay, Debo. Thank y'all. Okay, so y'all don't forget to do that, please. I was supposed to tell y'all to do that months ago. Okay, thank you. All right, now. So what y'all think about what they saying? Let me get down here. Okay. So what do y'all think about that? The American lifestyle is destructive. It is wasteful and ignorant. I don't think so. I mean, it can be. You can live that destructive, crazy lifestyle, or you can live a constructive, conservative lifestyle where you don't waste and you educate yourself. So America, to me, you have a choice. You know, you have a choice of what you want to do. Some kids don't have a choice. They just brought into this messed up system. But some of us have a choice. Most of us, I would think, have a choice on, what decisions we want to make in our life. I know I certainly had a choice. I could have been destructive, wasteful, and ignorant, and I chose, I just don't want to be like that. That was too much work. It was too much work for me to be all of that instead of just being who I was. They definitely live together in attempts of everyone building themselves to move on independently. Exactly. So we don't do that. That's we don't go with that mindset. So that's one way where they got us. And that's what they're seeing over there. So when y'all coming over there complaining about the Chinese and all these other people, they looking at us like, what? Of course, you are on YouTube and we see all of it. You silly. He's silly. He said, we see all of it, honey. We sit back and watch y'all like, whoa. The Black Americans is crazy. I know that's what you think. I know y'all be sitting there like, these people is nuts. I know y'all do. Because if they weren't my people, I would think they were nuts also. I would. They would be entertainment. They would be entertainment to me. And I would think they were nuts. I really would. I would think something is seriously, I would think that transatlantic slave trade messed those people up. That's what I would think. Yeah. That's what I would think. Black Americans are building. You say that again, Liz. Black Americans aren't building those houses. You know who building all them houses over there? Ghanaian Americans. That's who's building all those houses over there. Because I looked it up. I wanted to see who was doing what. Yeah, because he made some accusations in here. So I wanted to see who was really doing what. Oh, and I know who's really doing what. And it ain't us. It sure ain't us. But we're the ones you see the most arguing, fussing about what we need, what we want, and what we should have. While we robbing each other blind, selling each other our reserve land or land you can't get no permit on. Our people suffer from, they have a hard time with the idea of community and sacrifice. And that's because of this country. We're not raised to be a community. We're raised that the individual is more important than the community. And that's what y'all got to understand. So we can't help but think like that. At 18, what does this country do? It pushes us out of our own household. It tells us the best thing for us to do at 18 is to leave our parents and go out into these mean streets of the United States. That's what it tells us. So it's about being independent. It is not ever about the community in the United States. So no, we don't think like that. We think about the individual. My existence is more important than the group. That's how we think. But when you go to Africa, it ain't like that. They realize I can't exist without the group. You see? And we don't value the group at all. Not at all. In some cultures we do, but not to the extent that they do. And we're not going to sacrifice. No, we're not, especially not for the group. We're not going to sacrifice for the group. Debo says exactly. Okay. Yes, okay, we talked about that. All right, now let me go down here. Let me go back down here. And then we're going to go back and finish the comment. We're used to hitting the ground running, but with Africa, we have to hit the ground and watch, learn, and wait. But you need to do that before you hit the ground. With Africa, it's totally different. You can't just go. You have to study before you go. You got to know what you're doing. You got to get you some real African friends. You got to find you some at work, find you some at the university, and you go to them with a sincere heart and you say, you watch and make sure they cool Africans. And you say, you know what? I feel really drawn to go to Africa or wherever you want to go, and just be like, I want to know, can you find out what country they from? Tell me something about your country. Even if their country is not the country you want to go to, they can still help you. They can still give you some guidance on the rules, on the social norms, on the cultural norms. If you just go from our Black American culture and go over there, I don't know how y'all doing that. That would be that's a big no-no, because you don't understand the culture. You don't understand the social norms. And you're going to find out by trial and error, and that is not what you want to do. That is not what you want to do. So I would say before you go, you need to research that that country. You need to find friends. You need to learn as much as you can from those people, those real live African people in real life. Find out things about them. Find out things about their country. Taste the food. You might not even be able to eat the food. When I went to Nigeria, I forgot I didn't like Nigerian food. So I always struggle when I go over there with food because I don't like fish. I don't like crayfish, and they use crayfish like it's salt. So that was an issue for me. That was a big issue for me. So if you don't know those things, then you're not gonna be able to confront those things when you run across those issues, because that's a big deal when you don't eat crayfish and people use crayfish as a salt. What you gonna eat? So that means you're gonna have to spend a lot of money eating out. So these aren't things you want to know. You want to know all this before you get there. And the only way you can do that is by exposing yourself to the culture, even by taking a little course. Well, university classes are expensive now. I would just look online. Some universities actually offer free courses, and you can just take a little simple, cultural course or immersion course about a culture, the culture of the country that you want to go to. If all else fails, but just going cold turkey, nah, that's a big no. That's a big I'm gonna fail. Team member says, America is getting its skirt pulled up. Your health, your food, and your environment can be better in most other places on this planet for way cheaper. But where? That's what I want to know. People keep saying that, but they ain't naming no place. They keep saying that, but where? Hey, London lady, yeah, where? People just say stuff, but they don't never tell y'all the truth. Y'all can't just believe what people say. That's how we got in the situation that we're in now. Just believing what people say. This proves Pan-African is a pipe dream, Daniel says. We need to focus on what we have. Yeah, it is. Having the USA. Most is not moving. No, we're not. Most of us are not. And it is a pipe dream. I've just I've accepted that. I mean, as bad as I wanted to live there, like 365, I can't do that. I'm not going to pretend no more like I can, because I know I can't. So I'm fine with visiting. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with knowing my limits. I'm fine with being honest about Africa. I'm fine with that. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Anybody. But this, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna live and I'm never coming back to America. I'm not gonna even. You shouldn't even say that. I need the code for 10% so I can buy some. Please help. I don't want to give to someone who is in a nursing home. What you talking about, Portia? You need the code for what? 10%. So you can. I don't know what you're talking about, honey. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Nana says, if you don't have an American friend in the an African friend in the U.S., then Africa is not for you. He's right. He's so right. I had so many African friends. It was unbelievable. That's why I said I've been around Africans like more my adult life than I have Americans because they were my friends. And then when you meet one African, you meet another African, you meet another African. And then at the university, I would meet them all the time. So I was just around different Africans from different countries. So I've been exposed to different Africans from different countries. That's why I know the Africans that you guys think is the real Africans, them ain't the real Africans. Those aren't real Africans. They won the lottery to get here. Most of them won the lottery. Okay? And like they always say, those people, the people who have things in Africa, they're not trying to leave like that, because they have a life. So we don't see them Africans. We see Africans who don't have much and want to come here and get something. So that's what you got to realize. The ones who are like how they see the ones who just walk away from everything. We like, oh, they didn't have nothing. And they don't. Most of them don't. Like Kizzy don't have nothing. All she had was that house. She has nothing else. Nothing. So these are the ones they see. And they think, oh, they're all like that. But the ones who have something, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's the same thing. They're not doing that. The ones that have something, they're not doing that. They may come here to go to school, but they're going to come here, go to school, go back. They're not going to overstay because they don't have to. No, we're not patient at all. No, that's one thing we are not. Okay. Hello, Auntie. Crayfish is a Nigerian. Honey, I can't stand it. Oh, it's so nasty. They use it like it's salt, y'all. Because we don't want you all here. What you saying? Who don't want you all here? What you talking about, team member? Who don't want you all here? What you talking about? The mindset will have you here fast. The mindset will have you here fast. Some people are to be left behind. Yeah, they are. They are to be left behind. Everybody can't go. Everybody don't need to go because everybody's embarrassing. Some people don't have manners. The people with manners don't need to go. It breaks my heart when I hear how people sell all their assets, including their homes, to relocate to African country. Keep everything you worked hard for in America. Exactly. How do you do that? How do you sell everything? Now, we've been trying this Pan-African stuff since 1920. No, before that, with the Liberia experiment. We've been doing that since that long, and none of these experiments have worked. None of them have worked. So why do we keep trying it? Why don't we just try visit? Get you rent you a nice little home for the summer, like how I go for a month. Oh God, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. 3 months, 6 months out the year. You go, you visit, you come back. But this whole I can't stand America. That just sounds so ridiculous. I'm selling everything I got and I ain't never going back. That sounds so ridiculous. When you get older, you need medicine. You know, you need medicine. You need a doctor. I didn't think I was going to have these injuries. I didn't think when I was younger, all those flips and tricks and all that stuff was going to cause me problems later on. I didn't think that. But if I'm in Africa, you think there's an orthopedic surgeon there? You think so? You think the orthopedic surgeon there got an MRI? They probably got an MRI, but it probably ain't like the one we got here. You think they got all that stuff they have in that surgical room where they can just hook me up within 45 minutes? Oh, we done fixed the problem. No, they don't. Because I've been told we don't even have that medicine here, ma'am. The medicine that I take here for it, they don't even have it there. The pharmacist told me we don't even have that medicine. And y'all want me to think, want us to believe that at that point in this point in our lives, that we don't even need to be in a place that carry the same medicine that we have in our own country. How does that make sense? That's to me, that is the height of negligence to do that. The height of negligence to do that. To get these people to go there. And I told you, I did some research on it, and it said it's not that our body doesn't rejuvenate itself, because it does. But what happens is our immune system weakens as we get older, okay? And you know what will take you out of here? It's an infection. Because they said our immune system gets weaker, and as we get exposed to all these different bacteria and viruses, that is what's going to do you in. Because your immune system weakens. It's not your cell, it's not your body, it's your immune system. It can't go on forever like that. And it's going to run into something that's going to knock it down. And y'all want people, these people with these weakened immune systems, to go to Africa for what? For what? And live? That's negligence to tell them to do that. All right, let's see what else KWAME got to say. These aren't 20-year-olds y'all talking to. Y'all wrong for that. These are not 20-year-olds. 20-year-olds can't afford to do that. If they do that, they're going to start scamming. They're going to start scamming for sure, because they don't have a way to support themselves. Now, where are we? All right, so now we are at, now tell me, name one business owned by Black Americans in Ghana that is truly doing well. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all know on here. Yet you are jealous of the Chinese building factories and shopping malls in Ghana, and you still talking against them. But you haven't built a single mall for your own Black people in Ghana. Wow. This person smacked you all upside the head. But you haven't built one single mall for your own Black people in Ghana. All you know, listen, y'all, is parties and December in Ghana. Then you come and talk nonsense like you own Ghana. Wow. This is our land. We are natives. We are Ghanaians. So what y'all got to say about that? Wow, this dude, Basin, he hit you with some facts, because this is true. He said you're jealous of the Chinese. That's what you are. You're jealous of the Chinese. Well, guess who the number one trading partner with Ghana is? The Chinese. The Chinese. That's their number one partner. The Chinese. The Chinese don't invest millions in Africa, in Ghana. They invest billions in Ghana. So if you think for 1 second they're about to turn their back on Ghana, or disrespect the Chinese, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. When our captain said, you don't even own Africa, she wasn't lying. Because after that, I think it's the Pakistani people. I forgot who it was, y'all. It was either the Pakistani people or the Indian. No, the Indians and the Arabs. The Indians and the Arabs, the ones y'all always talking about. Those is 2 and 3 for investment and trade with them. So these people, now think about that. We come over there, biggest. That's another thing. When you don't go nowhere, you think everybody on that racism stuff, all right? You think everybody think black and white. You think everybody thinks dualistically, and they don't. They don't, especially Africans. So we'll go to Africa and we'll think they own this racist stuff because we experience racism. They'll think, well, we think, oh, because you went through colonialism, excuse me, you know, you're on this, you don't like white people stuff? No. You don't like foreigner stuff? No. Excuse me, y'all. No. No. You're wrong. They're looking at you like, what is wrong with you? The Chinese come over here and invest with us. Indians come over here and invest with us. Arabs come over here and invest with us. That highway in Gambia was some kind of project with the Arabs, I believe. So y'all sitting over there talking about these people to their face. And these are the people helping build their country. We're not building their country. Kwame even said that. We're not building their country. But we want to place demands. But how can you place a demand when you're not investing enough? You're not investing billions in that country. We're not. I looked it up. Americans invest in the real estate market. Yes, they do. But guess what they are? They are not. Some of them are Black Americans. Some of them are. Some of them are, they call them diaspora. So I should say they're not Black Americans. They're all of us. All right. But most of them who are doing this real estate building are Ghanaian Americans. They're Ghanaians who are investing in their own country. That's who's building those apartments. That's who's building that luxury real estate over there. It's not us. It is not us. It's them. So when Kenza come on here and talk about they need to do X, they need to do Y, and they need to do Z, they sitting back looking at her like, honey, we don't need to do nothing. We don't need to do nothing because if you don't like it, all you got to do is tell your little lover boy goodbye and go back to your country. Because you're not doing nothing for us. You're doing something for Super Shorty and his friends and his family, but you're doing nothing for the state of Ghana. Nothing. That little money Kenza spent, well, I ain't going to say it's little money to her, but to them, that's little money. That's nothing. That is nothing. She didn't enrich the state of Ghana. She enriched Super Shorty's family. They don't want that. They don't want that because not only now is she putting demands on Super Shorty's family? No. Who was she putting these demands on? The state of Ghana. Now she wants Ghana to fix the roads. Now she wants Ghana to make it look just like America for her. Because I'm here now. Because I'm here now. So fix it. Fix everything for me. Fix it. And they're looking at her like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. You and your people we don't even know who your people is for real, for real. But anyway, Black Americans are not doing enough over here, but creating problems. And you can tell that because of the way they changed the law, how they snatched that law up real quick with the citizenship thing. Okay, I need to get did we finish Kwame's letter? Because I need to go on to the next thing. Did we finish the letter? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, let me get these comments. And then I want to show you how they played this other lady. but you play yourself. Can you harvest the American dollar? I don't know what you're talking about, but you play yourself. You know what I'm saying? You play yourself. People play themselves all the time. Like he was saying, you play each other, and then you get back, then you want to point your finger and say, oh no, that's not what happened. The mojo cream and use for your bones, some of it ease my you want some more? It's Kiki 20%. I'm sorry. I need to get some more too. Because you see how long it lasts? Here, it's Kiki 20, okay? It's Mojo cream. And I'm just such a terrible sponsor lady. I need to be doing some commercials for it. I think I'm gonna just make a commercial. Okay, there it is. Portia. And it was good too. I just ran out too. That stuff is really, really good. As far if you have arthritis or you have any aches and pains or strains, oh my God, y'all, it worked miracles. And it don't smell, it don't have a strong odor or anything like that. It don't smell like medicine. It's good. It was real good. It helped me a lot when I was going through my little shoulder stuff. Most African countries aren't set up for relocation. No, they're not. Like Southeast Asia or South America, it might be good for short-term stays. He's right. It is not set up for relocation because as soon as you relocate, I told you, you're going to start wanting services. You're going to want services, and that's why they don't want you to stay, because you're going to start putting demands on the city, and the city doesn't want that. And you're going to want demands for things that you have in the United States, and we're like, no. Why would we do that? Nana World agreed. Luckily, we live in a very diverse area and know people from all over Africa. Happy to see, and that's the thing. You gotta. We don't be around people a lot from different countries, and that's what we have to do. We have to be around people from different countries so we can experience, and we won't realize that people are not racist like that. One second, y'all. So people, you have to understand that people are not racist like that. People have different views about different people. And the more you go outside of your atmosphere, the more you go outside of your environment, what you're used to, then you're going to see, oh, everybody's not like that. No, everybody don't think like that. Okay. What are y'all saying? Let me make this bigger. Okay. You talking to Nana? Okay. Okay, let me go back up here and get these comments. Oh, I done got behind on y'all comments. Kwame Duke. Okay, what about Kwame? Hi, Kiki. Hi, how you doing, sweetie? Okay, I guess you're saying hi. I can't see that. Let me make this bigger. I see a lot of Black Americans that have business and money are moving to South Africa. But for what? That's how you know you don't study nothing, because you wouldn't be running to South Africa. Why would you be running to South Africa of all places? Of all places. That's just craziness to me. Because it sound good, and somebody said they was going there, and they put up some videos that said they was going there. But do you ever take the time to look up the country? Take the time to really see what's going on in the country? No, you don't do that. I'm just going to go because somebody else went and it looked good. Oh, okay. We still doing that. And how I know we're still doing that, because there's no way you would be on here talking about South Africa of all places. Parts of Africa are amazing, and the next block, yeah, is poor poverty. And even in Gambia, it's not even the next block, honey. It will be the next house, the next couple houses. But I told you, but that place is different now. It ain't like that now. Honey, they have blocks of nice neighborhoods. I've been saying this for years, and people called me a xenophobe. Just visit. You are welcome to visit us. Repatriation, it is. It's very complicated, and most people can't do it because, I mean, it's hard to take us out, especially when we get there. Like if we were little kids, maybe so when we leave, but we're adults. We're adults that have been here all our life. We used to accustomed to certain things and certain ways of thinking, certain ways of being, certain food, certain everything. And you think this is how simple-minded it is for you to think that you can just be uprooted from everything you know. And you can just go and start all over again. No, you can't. You cannot. That is too difficult. It is too difficult. And we could do it. We would have done it. There would be more people doing it. People would have been more, this movement would have been successful by now. There would be groups of communities of Black Americans in Africa that we would have connections to that we could just go and live with. We wouldn't have to do all of this if this had been successful. It hasn't been. And we need to tell the truth. This is just what people use to try to make money off of us. That's it. It is just using us to try to make money. It has always been for that, and it's still for that. That's why W.E.B. Du Bois fell out with that man, Marcus Garvey. Because you just using them. You're just using us. We can't go back to Africa like that. We cannot. And to have these people giving you this money, you selling them a dream that we know is not going to come true. This is just wrong. And I was watching today about what was going on with Black people in the 1920s. It was bad for us in the 1920s. So we wanted to get out. So anybody coming that's going to sell us this dream that we want to get out, this we can go to Africa, yeah, we're going to do it. Just like now. But it's all a dream. It's all a dream. It's not real, people. If it was real, we would have communities there now. And I ain't talking about these little, well, what about this community? No. There would be communities that we would know about, that we would freely be able to travel back and forth to. We don't have that. And you know what this is about? He's right. Nana is right. This is about loving yourself. This is about self-love. That's what this is all about. Love, always thinking something outside of you is better than you. No. Nothing outside of you can be better than you. That's what you got to get. That's your home. How can any place else be better than your home? Don't you get that? Don't you get that? You hate the place you come from. You hate yourself. You're full of self-hate. So if you're full of self-hate, how do you think you're going to be successful in Ghana? How do you think you're going to be successful in Gambia? How are you going to be successful in Cameroon? You're not. Because hate gets nothing but hate. That's all it brings is hate. You're not going to be successful until you learn to love yourself, where you are and who you are. I don't have to go to Nigeria to live in Nigeria for me to love who I am. I know my ancestors come from Nigeria. I visit Nigeria. I had a great time in Nigeria. But do you see me packing my bags going there? Heck no. There was a time when I wanted to. There was a time when I dreamed of it. But after working for YouTube and doing these stories that I do, God opened my eyes and he let me see This you can't do this. You need to warn other women. If you've been there all these times, you've been, and all these experience you had, you need to warn these women and tell them the truth. This is a lie, people. This is a whole lie. KWAME is right. KWAME is right. And we cannot complain about them taking advantage of us when we taking advantage of our own people. And y'all know we taking advantage of our own people because I done talked about it. Even Kenza and her little boyfriend selling y'all land when you know you can't sell no land over there. You know you cannot. So you really leading them to Super Shorty and his friends. That's what she's doing. But she ain't telling y'all that. Y'all think y'all doing business with Kenza. How y'all doing business with Kenza? Kenza's not from there because Kenza's not a citizen. She can't even have a business in her name. If I'm understanding correctly, it has to be in a Ghanaian's name. So who y'all doing business with? Super Shorty? Her boyfriend? Are y'all serious? You can't be serious. See, Chinese people don't do business like that. Indians don't do business like that. Arabs don't do business like that with Kenza and Super Shorty and her boyfriend. No, they do real business. They do real business. That's why they respect them like that. So when y'all go over there talking about the Chinese, looking all stupid, making videos talking about them, looking straight stupid. Because if they got a choice and say who leave and who go, honey, you be the one going. We be the one packing up all our stuff and going while the Chinese, Indians, and the Arabs be looking lovely. Looking lovely. Even all them problems they had in Gambia with the Chinese people. But you see they worked it out and you see they still there. You see they still there. Y'all don't understand. You don't understand. That's why you drawing all this negativity to yourself because you don't love who you are. So you out just running around believing a lie, believing whatever people tell you you are. Oh, I'm Ghanaian. So y'all think because we dress like Ghanaians that you're going to be a Ghanaian? No, they're going to look at you and laugh. They're going to look at you and laugh. Some of us may pull it off and look African like them, but they know you're not them. And just because you put on their clothes, that don't make you them. Just because you learn their language, that don't make you them. All that make you is trying to appropriate their culture. That's all it makes you. That's all it makes you. Be proud of your own culture. Introduce them to your culture. Show them your culture. But our culture, what we showed them is embarrassing. What that dude say, KWAME? What he say, y'all want to go to Dirty December? What he say, y'all like to do, scam each other? It's just bad. It's just bad people talk about you like this. It's just horrible. Hold on, I'm not starting the dang video. Yeah, this is just horrible. Hold on. Let me get back over here. Yeah. What do you say right here? Black people in Ghana, you won't even build a single mall for your own Black people in Ghana. And y'all know we need certain stuff. And then y'all come on my channel. I've been in Ghana for 30 years. Well, what have you done for 30 years? You've been there 30 years? Are you serious? How could you take it? Oh, shoot. My computer about to go dead. What else did he say? What else do? We we party all the time. We drink all the time. But you haven't built a single thing. You come here to party. You come here just to do whatever. You trap each other with the citizenship. You lie to each other about Africa. This is just horrible, the way we've represented ourselves in Ghana. This is just horrible. But it's the truth. He's not lying about any of it. He's not lying about one thing this man said was a lie. Please point it out to me. We got plant medicine and prayers. Yeah. Well, that's a lot of them go there for that though. They go there because they think, the plant medicine is going to heal them. They go there for that, seriously. And I'm just like, but what are they fertilizing that stuff with? Do you even know? Do you even know what they fertilize it with? And do you know a lot of people still use the bathroom outside? So your vegetables are going to get contaminated with. I can't. But they're better than the ones here. Okay. Hey, Chill Neil, what you been up to? Kiki, I ask Black Americans in Africa when I visit, would you rather have a medical emergency here in the US or in the USA? Honey, I don't even want to get cut. I remember when I burnt my hands there. I burnt both of my hands. And I remember I was praying, praying, praying because I did not want a hospital. And I did what the the AI person told me to do, and I was fine. But no, I don't want no medical emergency in Africa. I'm cool on that. No, no, no. What you say, Portia? A typo. What's a typo? Oh, you talking to somebody? Okay. Oh, y'all got a whole bunch of comments. Hold on, I'm trying to get to them. Looking good, Kiki Love, the lipstick match. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Joy. Thank you so much. Let me get out here, y'all. What time is it? I'm trying to see how far I'm behind on the comments. Okay, let me go here. Yes, especially in Nigeria, Miss Susan. Hey, Miss Susan. She says, it's how Americans want to be. Africans and Africans want to be Americans. Shaking my head. But how about being you? How about being you? And that's where the peace starts, when you are you. And then you won't have to appropriate other people's culture, and then you won't get things all mixed up and twisted. I don't think Africans want to be Black Americans. I think Africans want to be in America. I think they think some things about our culture are cool, so they want to appropriate those things about Black Americans. But they don't want to be a Black American. No, they don't. Most of the Africans that were my friends, they looked down on Black Americans, and they told me that. They told me that, and they told me why to my face. It's how Americans want. Okay, we read that. Yeah, they told me that to my face. Okay. I would be happy to build them a mall if I was rich. But would they even go to the mall? Would they go to the mall once they found out you built it? They'd be like, no, we want to go to the African mall. You built the mall. Welcome, newcomers. Yes, welcome to all the new people. And please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the like button. Please and thank you so much. Just because someone helps you build doesn't mean they like you. No, I didn't say they didn't like them, honey. Now, Miss Susan, I didn't say they liked them. I don't think it, but when it comes to money like that, it's not about liking each other. We've surpassed liking each other. It's about the money. And it's about what I can get from you and what you can do for me and what I can do for you. It's about the true nature of a friendship, the exchange. It's about the fair exchange. It's not about likes. Because they've invested over $414 billion in Ghana. $414 billion in Ghana. That's not about me liking you. That's about a fair exchange. That's about me getting something from you and you getting something from me. It's called exchange. We're exchanging. So, hey, thank you. We're getting something from each other. No, Brooklyn, can you believe that? And that's the thing. He ain't never been to Africa, but he telling us to go. And he ain't from here. And then guess what else, y'all? This man sat down and met with the KKK. Mm-hmm. Marcus Garvey went and sat with the KKK and had a meeting about us. And had a meeting about us with the KKK. And when W.E.B. Du Bois found out, he lost his mind. Him and A. Philip Randolph lost their minds. Yes. Lost their minds. And that's when they was like, nah, he got to go. He got to go. He got to go. And then, they asked, what's up with you in this KKK meeting? That's what he said. Well, we both want the same thing. We both want the black person, the African American, what they didn't call us that, the black, whatever they was calling us, the Negro out of America. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? And people are following this man's warped philosophy, because it's warped. You can't tell me you're meeting with the KKK and you got my best interest at heart. There's no way. There's no way. Yes, Jesse says over 5 million. There's no way you can tell me that. There is no way you can tell me that, because you can't have my best interest at heart. Hey, Mr. Dorcas. Over 300,000 African slaves were transported to the United States during the slave trade. Most Black Americans are native of the Americans, not Africa. I don't know why y'all keep saying that. I mean, okay. Why y'all keep saying that? I don't get that. It's like y'all don't want to have no African in y'all. I don't get that. Help me understand. Is it that y'all don't want to be African? Y'all want to be Native Indigenous Americans? Y'all don't want to be Africans? But everybody comes from the Black woman. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know about Lucy. Don't y'all know about Lucy? And y'all know all human beings come from a Black woman. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know that, right? Do y'all understand that all people come from Black women? She's the mother of everybody. So I don't understand. Everybody come from the African. Life started in like down by the Sudan, like lower Sudan, where that Nile River and all that stuff is. I think that's where they found Lucy at. So she was like the oldest living human being, and everybody came from her. So I don't get this where I don't want to be African. Like, I'm a Black American. Okay. The Black part means somebody from somewhere in my family, a lot, since the skin color is the color of Black, come from Africa. It's obvious. But the accent says no. That ain't no African accent. That's an American accent. So somebody ended up in America, and they've been there for a long time, because you have no accent but the North American accent. And that's actual and that's factual. Web Nation does a lot of interviews with Black Americans who live in South Africa. I'm a Black American. What? Us here in the States watching through social media. Okay. Well, that's maybe he has an interest in y'all going to South Africa, but honey, I would not be going. I wouldn't even go visit South Africa for what? Look. All I can say is Jacob Zuma. Any country that would elect Jacob Zuma for their president speaks volumes about that country and those people. Some people self-hate, but I don't. I love me and my people, Joy. And most people do self-hate. That's why they got to hate America. They got to feel like I got to hate America, and I got to run Africa, and I got to embrace everything African, and I got to hate everything American. Why? 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 because you don't love yourself. I'm a Ghanaian American. I live in Dallas and Zambia in the summer. Oh, I heard Zambia was nice. Why you don't live in Ghana in the summer? I guess you guys are simply going to ignore the unaliving of Black Americans in Africa. Now, you can't even be talking about us, Jesse, so please stop it. Because I believe I'm the only person that have them on their channel. So what are you talking about? You must ain't never looked through this channel. You just came on here and start talking, right? Because that's not true. We talk about that all the time on this channel. I actually dedicate my channel to those people. So what are you talking about? You just wanted to say something and didn't know, because you don't know nothing about me, so you just want to say something. You just want to throw a comment out there. Is that what you want to do? Because we talk about the unaliving of all those Black Americans all the time, and nothing is done about it. Nothing. And nothing will ever be done about it until we organize ourselves as a group. Till then, it's just gonna happen. It's gonna be business as usual. So no, you got the wrong show. No, we talk about what happens to the Black Americans. Okay, yeah. Am I going in the right direction? Joy says, all you got to do is check the country's website to see if you want. Yes, check the website, check the State Department warnings. Y'all just ignore them too, don't you? Just ignore them. They don't care, because they warn you about this on the State Department website. I don't think we want services. I don't think we want services. I know I don't. I want the simple way of life, like we had here in the U.S. years ago, growing your own. Okay, but wait a minute, Tasha, honey, my peaceful corner. The services they're talking about are running water, sweetie. They're talking about running water. They're talking about lights. They're talking about roads. They're talking about a sanitary system. A stationary, what is it? Stationary, you know what I'm talking about. Where a sanitation system. That's what they want, a sanitation system. But y'all know, I didn't mean to say that other word, but sanitation system. They want that's the services they're talking about. Basic lights. They don't have that stuff. You don't have roads. You don't have nobody coming to fix the roads like that. If they don't have basic services, and for Ghana to have all that money and don't even have basic services, that's a joke to me. That's unbelievable. That to me is unbelievable. Okay, where are we at here? Did I get this one? All you got to do is check the country. Okay, we read that one. So let me go to this next one. All right, now this is something else I want to talk to y'all real quick about. There was a lady, she made a video. And this video was, I couldn't believe it, because I'm like, lady, you didn't know you was being overcharged like that? And this is, oh, I didn't follow the script, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh, I got all the way off the script. Jesus. Okay, let me try to salvage this real quick. So look, I was looking up examples of us, of what Kwame was saying. So I thought about this, the houses being demolished, okay, and how people have paid for their homes and then their homes get demolished. All right. So there's been different cases of this, not only the one that just happened this weekend, but remember the one with the Hebrew Israelites, and the prominent leader there in the Israel, and his name was Rabbi Kohan. I think that's how you say it. Kohan. He was living in Ghana. He lived there for 30 years, and he was affiliated with the Ben Ami Hebrew Israelites community. Oh, and it was historically connected to Diamona, Israel. I heard somebody saying that today. Okay, the property, it functioned as a personal residence. Remember that? Let me put it up here so y'all can see it. And as a community, right? It was like a community center. And then they tore it down. Y'all remember that? Let me remind y'all. Okay. Now, this was one of the cases that was mentioned to me. Now, if they're going to tear this down, they said this was so unfair because this man had not been there his allotted amount of time. And what the issue really was that they wanted to give this land to to another group of people, okay, to a group of people that have been socially oppressed and for their sexual choices, I guess you could say it like that, okay, for who they chose to be intimate with. And they said they did this on this land because of these people, okay? So let me show y'all this real quick. So let's talk about this. This was one of the cases.
Past this place, so this is Cape Coast. Not quite sure what's happened. They've just come.
We don't know if this man was ever compensated for his land. We do know that everything was tore down. We know that it was looted, but we don't know what happened after that. So some people will take the position that you ask us to come here. We've invested here, but you come and you tear our stuff down whenever you feel like it. You tore our house down after we finished developing this house, after we finished developing this community. You destroyed it, and you destroyed it only because you wanted to make more money off of it. You've already made all the money you could from us, and now you want to resell it and make more money off of it. So let's check this out.
Knock somebody's building down just like that. It's crazy. So apparently the people who sold the land to him are saying his lease is up, but
supposedly that was a lie. His lease was not up. But remember what they were telling us though. Even if the lease is up, what are they supposed to do? Renew the lease with you. They're not supposed to just come in and destroy your property.
We all know he hasn't been here for as long as they're saying. They're saying 50 years is up, but we know he hasn't been here for 50 years. And people are here looting it, like looting what they can out of the building. This is so sad and so tragic. And, you know, if this person who owns this place has been treated unfairly, then there really is no justice in this country. And that is tragic, and that is really sad, and it just breaks my heart. I'll see if I can. So this guy whose face I'm not going to show, he's saying that he had the guy who owns it had a 50-year lease, and then the MCE, who is a government official in this place, has sold the land and has just turned up and is knocking the building down. There he is, the guy in the
and they're saying the guy sold the land to that community who had been marginalized. He sold it to them for more money. Okay. Now, this is not the first time that I've heard that this is what they do. Even with T3 and me, they were doing the same thing. They would take the land from you and resell the land. Many of these villages in Ghana, that's exactly what they do.
Blue and red, that's the MCE. Absolute disregard for justice. If this is how authorities act in this country, then we're really in trouble. This is so bad. So bad.
Oh, right. And look, they're trying to steal our roofs and the sidings and stuff.
So, notice?
This morning they turned up. I wasn't here early when they turned up.
Right.
Our people were cooking in the kitchen. They turned the electric off. and then they started dismantling the building.
Wow.
They took the grates, that building right there.
Yeah. That one, yeah.
The building right here that's destroyed right here. I just heard when I was in Cape that somebody put it on our site that that building was still. I have pictures of that building. It was still up. But they had taken all the windows out, all the doors off, and the grates, the security grates. That was the only building we had that was secure. That building back there behind the water tanks is the kitchen.
So right. He said he didn't know nothing about
food there this morning for the lunch that we do every day. I mean, there's a vegan restaurant.
Right.
That people order food from it.
Yeah.
That's when they told me
that's
they
what's
shut down everything.
Oh my gosh.
And that
how are you still standing? You're impressive.
How
are you still standing?
Oh, well, you know, we have to be strong in situations.
Yeah. Oh
like
my
this.
gosh.
That's a brand new light pole they tearing down right there. That light pole just got put in.
They're going to pay for all that, bro.
Yeah, I don't know whether they pay for it or not, y'all.
Now they got the scavengers, all these are feeders. Feeding sharks over here. That's what they rubble, man.
Yeah, they're going to pay for all of that. Yeah, they're going to pay for all of that. Yeah, they're going to pay for all of that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all remember these people. Y'all remember when this happened? Look. Now just imagine all your money, everything gone just like that.
Hey,
just like that.
Why are you taking that? Excuse me. Hey, why are you taking this? I got your picture. Who told you to take this?
That doesn't mean nothing.
Are you secure? Are you with them?
Okay, so let me tell y'all what happened with this. See, this is another thing, okay, KWAME? This is why they feel like, you know, well, look how y'all treat us. You know, we spend all this money with y'all, but look how y'all treat us, okay? So this man was supposedly been there for, they said it was a 99-year lease, but then I heard it was a 21-year lease, okay? So I'm not really sure, but they said he had been there for the 21 years. The lease was not renewed, so they tore the property down, okay? This is the first thing that I heard. Then I also heard that there was a marginalized community there, and that marginalized community had been raided, kind of like this, all right? It said, according to the official explanation, authorities stated that the demolition was a part of a broader enforcement campaign. So let me show y'all this what happened. See, I didn't know this, and nobody ever told us this part, all right? But during the same time in Ghana, they have been cracking down on people who have alternative lifestyles. They don't like people who have alternative lifestyles, right? So there was a group of people there who were having an alternative lifestyle. They went in to these people's place and they tore it up, which was a problem hold on, y'all. So, you know, people don't like that. People found out, like the international the international news, people found out about it, and it was just bad. All right, so let me show y'all, because we never seen this part of the story. Nobody told us this part of the story. All right. So let me see. Their identity is kind of hidden because they don't want people to know who they are.
I have been attacked, beaten, and robbed before. Some of the people criticizing us are the same people who propose to us on social media. We are just asking.
So what they're saying in Ghana, there is a group of people who live alternative lifestyles, okay? And they're saying that they're being attacked in Ghana now, okay, because of their lifestyle. But they're saying the problem is
it's not safe for everyone.
These people who are attacking them are the same people who be coming and propositioning them on social media. So they're sounding the alarm, and they're letting different stars know, they're letting different people know. So when this happened, they let the media know about it. So this got out real big. All right.
1. LGBT leaders are being hunted everywhere.
So there was some protests.
Some of us who were in the space had to flee for our lives because we didn't expect the police, and then the media and people from national security would come to the space.
It hurts so much knowing that the safe space for the LGBT community has been closed down. This was a place open where any community member could go and channel their problems, and they'll get the right people to assist them.
So this was like you know how we have the little safe places here so they can go to, okay? So this was like their little safe place they could go to. Well, the government went in and destroyed it. This was around the same time, okay?
Misinformation that I've witnessed has been used to justify the violence going on in Ghana has been the EU's involvement in opening up the center. You know, this whole idea that the EU came and imposed this Western standard and, you know, they opened the support center.
Okay, so I didn't know the EU opened the center. So yes, of course they were going to give them land. Of course they were going to give them a place to rebuild. Okay, of course they were going to do that.
Which is not true, right? Because the support center was opened by Ghanaian citizens, you know, to create a safe space for LGBTQ plus individuals.
Oh, he said it wasn't true. They didn't open it.
Played a supporting role.
It is
but
not
we don't know.
illegal to be LGBTQ plus in Ghana. However, an old colonial British law that criminalizes same-sex intercourse, as well as something vague called unnatural carnal knowledge, is being used to target the LGBTQ plus community. The president recently came out to make a statement saying he's not going to allow same-sex marriage in response to all this that has been going on.
It will never happen in my time as president.
Okay.
We find this very disingenuous and super evasive. All the LGBTQ plus community is asking for is decriminalization of same-sex intercourse, as well as enforcement of human rights.
Okay, so this was also going on at the same time. All right. And at that same time, they went in. Let me show you where they went into these people's house and destroyed their house. So all this international pressure was on them at this time. So that's when the guy is saying, that's when they start saying that they took these people's land and gave it to them. Okay. Let me show you this one. And this is when they went into the house and they destroyed the house. So that's how we know this happened at that same time. All right. And these are the people, and they're terrified. They don't want to show their face because they're scared that this is going to happen again. Okay. So I guess, hold on. I don't know what's wrong with this video, but basically it's the, let me see if it's not playing. This shows when they went into the house to destroy the house, y'all. They went in and they just tore up the house. They arrested some people. Okay, here it comes. I'm just going to play a little of this.
Hello.
Hey, it's David. How are you doing?
We're heading to a safe house in Accra.
We're probably about 30 minutes from your live location now.
Run by gay activists.
Okay. Can we carry in the cameras, or we need to keep the cameras in boxes?
I think let's carry it in boxes. We're meeting Joe. We agreed to hide his identity because he's afraid of being attacked again.
To that moment when those men came and started harassing you.
I was shaking when they took me to that room, and then they set up their cameras, and I was screaming, I was crying.
His crime, the gang of men say, approaching another man. Is it true that you told him that you like him, they ask? Yes, he whispers.
Like, how can this happen to me? They beat me around 9 to 11. All those times, like they were beating me. I wanted to kill myself. For me, when I saw this video, I was like, it would be better I kill myself because I have nowhere to go.
And your dad threw you out.
Yeah.
And what was that moment like?
I cried like never before.
Often captured in videos too graphic to show.
Okay. So basically, this is what was going on at that same time when that land was being taken from him. Okay. He had been there, I think 20 something, 30 years, he said. And I heard the land lease was for 21 years. Then I heard it was for 99. Okay. But when this happened, pressure was put on Ghana, and they were like, no, you can't treat people like this because of who they choose, who they prefer, their gender identity. You can't do that. So pressure was put on Ghana, and Ghana had to give these people some land. They had to give them a place to stay. And supposedly, what land do you think they gave them? The rabbi's land. The rabbi's land is who the land they gave him was the rabbi's land. Yes, the rabbi's land. All right. So let's go. Let me go look at your questions. So that's what happened with him. So, but what did Ghana say? You think the Ghanaian government said that? No, they didn't say that. They didn't say that's what happened. This is what they said is what happened. They said that they did that because they needed to do what, y'all? Protect the waterways, the flood-prone zones, and land violating zone regulations. So if you were violating protected waterways, flood-prone zones, or land that was violating regulations, you got your house tore down. And that's what they said. His house was not following the regulation, and that's why the business and the house got tore down. The government maintains that the demolition was a standardized enforcement and not a targeted action. So we tried to say he targeted that man. They targeted them because they was Hebrew Israelites. And no, they're saying no. It was no targeting. It was nothing. It was the waterways. And I do think that the raid had something to do with it, though. I really do. All right, let's see what y'all saying here. I don't think we all want services. Okay, I read that. Okay. Did I read that one here? Maybe I didn't. I'm sorry. Let me read it. I'll read it anyway. I don't think we all want services. I know we don't want the simple way of life like we had here in the U.S. Oh, yes, we did. Okay, we read that one. All right, let me go down here. What's this one say? This one says, I thought they were born that way. What are you talking about, team member? What are you talking about? It's illegal in Africa. Yeah, it is. In most countries, it is illegal in Africa. That's why they feel like, the outside forces pressure them to have some type of safe space for them. So they did have the safe space till it was raided and, everything happened. So they were like, well, all these forces came in. These people need land. These people need a safe place. What can you do for them? Oh, well, we'll give them this land. And that's what they said, though. Remember, right when it happened on Go Black to Africa, they said that land was for the LGBT, for that community. So, again, that brings them back to the inconsistency. That brings the repats back to you don't even keep your word. But again, when they see when they see we don't keep our word, when they see how we treat each other, well, they feel like they don't deserve to give us any respect, honor, or dignity. You see what I'm saying? Okay, Susan said, yeah, a lot of countries don't like that. No, they don't, especially in Africa. And even Pakistan, Pakistan countries like that, yeah, none of them. But remember the guy said, but those would be our customers. Yes, it's illegal in Ghana, and they are breaking the law there. Terry White says, hey, Mr. White, how you been? So that's what they think happened with that. All right, now let me check out. We're going to put on this other video. And I want y'all to see, this is another complaint they have. So they have valid complaints. They talk about the inconsistency. They talk about the overpricing. Okay, like this. This man's land, he thought he paid for his land. He thought he paid all the fees. He thought he was done. But as soon as he was done, what happened? What did we see happen? They came on his land, knocked his house down, and now that community, I don't know if it's them, but I know that land is no longer his land. I know there's a new business on that land, and there's a new company being built on that land now. It's probably already built because that was a couple years ago. So let's see what hey, Chat Lives Matter, how you been? Mercedes buses and Toyota cars and trucks. Okay, I don't know why you said that. What was we talking about for you to say that? Okay, yes, it is illegal in Ghana. We said that. They will get their, it sure will. Africa is just a place. Wait a minute. What'd you say? Africa is just a motherland to the African. Well, I would say people say that because, like I was saying earlier, that all humanity comes from the Black woman. So I think when they say it's the motherland, they mean it like that. Like all people come from Africa. So respect Africa. And I agree with that. I think we should all respect Africa. I think, like I said, we should go there and visit. But I don't think we should just, pack up everything and say, forget America and go to Africa. No, I don't think we should do that. We can't do that. They will get, okay, we read that. Okay, we read that. Let me go down here. They came here to escape corruption. Don't think you will go there and not have to be just as corrupt to get. And see, you got to be just as corrupt to get your way if you plan on building anything. And that's the thing. You got to bribe people. You got to pay for things. You got to be willing to be a part of that corrupt lifestyle. You got to be willing to be a part of that. And you get tired of that. If you're not a corrupt person, just being around corruptness just gets old after a while. You just like, look, this is getting on my nerves. Because you can't do anything without the underhand pay. You got to always have that underhand. There's always a price for everything, Okay. Team member is once again trying to be funny, y'all. He's doing what team member does. Team member, I personally have no idea. Miss Susan says she don't know, team member. Quit asking. Okay. Portia says, somebody lying over there. Team member, they talking to team member. How are you guys? Oh, I can't see that. Have you guys here? Oh, God, no, GM Jars. That's horrible. Oh, God, I hope that's not true. Okay, they should not accept the lifestyle in Africa. It's okay. Terry said they shouldn't accept it. All right, now I want y'all to see something else. Okay, this is what else I wanted y'all to see. It was another video that was sent to me. Oh, but this is what I want to show y'all. So I went and looked because I wanted to see if this was really a problem with these tearing down houses. And I wanted to see who was really being affected by it. Was Ghanaians being, because they were saying in the article, it wasn't targeted towards Black Americans or any diaspora, and that these communities were Ghanaian communities and what? Diaspora. So look, I looked. And let me show y'all a video, what I found. Because I wanted to see. I'm thinking these are, this is just, we're targeted. And they're going to our communities. No, they were not just going to our communities. Look at this video.
You didn't go to school today?
No, because of this issue. Where is she going? Early in the morning, they just came. They came here 6 o'clock. So just imagine, what are we going to do? We just wake up from bed and we had a military car inside moving around. I said, no, the people have come. A colleague of mine came here. He is here. He's in the next neighbor. He even called me that the people are. So I saw them. So I'm hoping that they are not breaking here, but only the walls that they will break and just pass here.
Sure.
But we never knew this is how the situation will go.
Okay.
So it's like a consideration. They are considering some people and they are moving some people out. You see, which is very bad. The government should do something about it.
Okay.
So he even saying the way they doing this, they showing favoritism. Some people, he said, they moving out, they being considerate, and some people they're not. They're just tearing stuff down. Him and his little girl got their stuff tore down at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it wasn't just Black Americans. It wasn't just a Pan-African village. No, this was Ghanaian people also. There were some foreigners who lived there, but this is what they're doing over there.
We beg the government because we are not bringing them to come and harm us, but we rather want them to come and help us. Because we, the poor, we don't have it. That's why we are on them that they should help us. But people who have the money already, they have it. If they are building that they build, definitely they will have the double of it. That's why they are building. We don't have anything. The little we have, that is what we invested in this and the land. And now they've taken it. Where are we going?
Yeah, they destroyed it.
I'm asking the government, where are we going? You've not prepared a place for us, but you are breaking our buildings. What is the reason? Because if they give me a letter or a notice, I will know that there's a notice written that they've given me a notice that they're coming to break here. But it just came a 3 days announcement. With that 3 days, imagine 3 days. How many times would I use to move all these things?
So that's a lie. That's a lie because he just said they did a 3-day announcement, so they did give you a notice. So the government did give them a notice. They told them. But wait till y'all see what they've been doing. Wait till y'all see what these people have been doing. This government does not have a choice. Ghana has got to stand up and put her foot down and say enough is enough. This is enough. Wait till I show y'all
my luggages. Some of the luggages are inside and they break the things on it. Where am I going? So we beg the government to do something about it.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Well, that was really sad, but let me show y'all this part. Let me show y'all what they've done. And remember all those floods we saw over there? And remember, they're saying that's why they tore down the rabbi's place. Remember, they said they had, after people were saying they tore it down because of this LGBTQ, alphabet, whatever, what happened with them? And they took the land and gave it to them. The government is saying, no, that's not the real reason. We took that land too because that land was on land. That land was at a site it shouldn't have been built on. So if it shouldn't have been built on, y'all, why did they sell them the permit? And why was it there all these years? But in all fairness to the government, I have to tell you, when I worked for the Cameroonian government, Kumba Urban Council, people will do that. I kid you not. People will go to a piece of land and they will build on that land without a permit. They will just start building. We will go to that house, put a notice on that door, and they'll tell you, we're going to tear this house down. Where's your permit? Produce your permit. But we know they ain't got no permit because we don't have it at the council. So we would tear the house down. That's why when they say they didn't get a permit, I'm always shocked because I'm like, nah, y'all got permits. So look what they did. This is why those houses
filled up in the lagoon. It looks like it's a gutter, but what you see on the screen is not a gutter. It's a lagoon itself. And this as a result of, a lot of people living around this area, according to NADMO. So these are some of the scenes here. And if you pan to the other side, that's where, right behind where the
So up here, y'all, that's where the people live. All right. Up here is where the people live. Okay. The
demolition exercise is ongoing.
And they're dumping their trash down here. They're dumping their trash down here in the lagoon. As a result, you're going to see all that massive flooding that we've been seeing.
So this,
all right. So the government does have a valid point. They do have a valid point. So let me see what y'all saying about that. So it could be that. That could be the reason. So we have a valid point and they got a valid point. We built the houses, y'all tear them down, but y'all saying, well, we built them because you're building near lagoons. But again, with the rabbi, if the rabbi was building near a lagoon or building near a waterway, why did y'all let him build? And why did you let it stay all those years? That's what makes things look questionable. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. This says, that's it. The blue passport, Portia says. And Joy says, there's a similar situation going on in Nigeria too with the demolition. Okay, then the waterways. And let me tell y'all about that. Makoko. Is that what it's called? Makoko? I think that's how you pronounce it. Okay, but them people also, they've known. Because when I was going to Nigeria, which was I don't know how many years ago, those people in Makoko knew they could not stay on that water, but the government let them stay. And if you notice, the city is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's close to the bridge. Now it's close to the lines, the electrical lines, and they're like, no, you can't do that. We told you not to do that. We warned you not to do it. You did it anyway, so we're going to tear it down. But I'm telling y'all, I saw it for my own eyes. People in Africa, and I'm going to say Africa because I've seen them do it in Cameroon, and I see them do it in Gambia, and they do it in Ghana. They build wherever they want to without a permit. They think the government is not going to do anything. They think the government is just going to let it go because sometimes the government does, but then sometimes they don't. So these people know not to do this. They just doing it to see how far they can go. Okay, we're not talking about that though. Team member, that is not what we're talking about. That's a trap, putting all those people in the same place in a country that, hey, ain't it, honey? You better know what's going on. That's why I said you got to pay attention. That's not a good idea at all. Not at all. Once they see the, oh, you think they're not going to care? I told you I had friends who got played like that. Let me see what else. The grifters start at the airport as soon as you get off the plane, honey. They sure do. All right, now let me show y'all this lady. This lady was a little bit ridiculous. It's called eminent domain. Well, that's not eminent domain. Eminent domain is like when we take it for the use of the public. We take private land and use it for public use. If they already make it bad to lease land, yes, they will destroy what you build fast. All right, let me show y'all this, and then we're going to get off here. Well, how long we been on here? Ooh, 1 hour and 53 minutes. Oh, we did good today, y'all. We ain't been on here long at all. And they get there, and they learn that they are more devils. Yeah, and that's what happens. They get there, and they see, oh, my God, these are more devils than in the United States. Yeah. Okay, you can't let your guard down. All right. And on that note, I'm going to introduce this next repat. So I'm sharing with you, KWAME, the experiences that repats have had in Ghana. This one had been here over 30 years, and his house got torn completely down after it was paid for. He feels like that's wrong. Repats, Americans, diaspora, feel like that's wrong. That your government tore it down and gave it to somebody else. Resold the land to somebody else. Now, let me show you this one. This is also another case, even though we did check and we saw that they were not targeting any group. They were only targeting people who lived along the waterways, the lagoons, who were blocking the lagoons, right? Okay. Fair enough. Now look at this one. Look at this one. This right here I'm about to show y'all is crazy. I can't believe this lady did this. But these are the experiences And these are the things that people are going through in Ghana. All right, let me pull this one up. This was crazy. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Hold on, y'all. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe she was saying it. I couldn't believe she was doing it. And I kept on saying, well, lady, why you just don't look for yourself? Yeah, that's another thing, y'all. You can't believe what people say to you. Like, people will pretend like they're your friend, but they're not. And you got to be careful. This lady was listening to all the wrong people. And poor thing, she paid $3,200 USD for resident permits. All right. $3,200 for resident permits in Ghana. That's what we're talking about, the inconsistency in the system. You know, let me go up here and get the notes about Michelle before we start. All right. So, again, the center was illegally established. The enforcement was selective. The demolition focused. No. The demolition functioned as a displacement rather than a protection, because those people were displaced, and that's true. And these other people are displaced, and that's very, very true. But those other people, the boys, they were displaced. So they needed a place to stay also. So that was a rumor that was circulating about the place. The land was being repositioned, possibly for government alignment with the interests of they were pro LGBTQ to do this facility. So they said the rumor gained traction because they were under intensive public pressure. This history fueled the fear and the mistrust about future land use. So all that did, when we saw that happen to them, it just fueled our fire. We were just so scared. It just was like, we can't, if they would do this to the rabbi, they would do this to any of us. But there's no official confirmation that the rabbi land was ever designated for the purpose that we see it. Okay, so we don't know. This is what people are saying. All right, and then there was another one I told y'all about when they tore the land down. Dozens of homes was demolished because it was in a flood zone. Okay, I just showed y'all that. So they said that this is not, Ghana has done this before. They did it at a place called Liberian Camp. They did it there. And the camp was in early 2024. They tore that one down. They said they did it in Kumasi in 2026. They plan to demolish near Yaba Yar Stadium. And it was only halted there because of the traditional leaders halted it. So what they're saying is, you can't be saying that we're just targeting you guys, selling you land and taking it back, because that's not true, because we're doing this to our own people. These people are breaking the law. All right. So residency permits. Like here, this is another inconsistency. So here, if I go and get my driver's license is going to be the same price. If I go, if my son go, if my niece go, all our driver's license are going to be the same price. All right. But in Ghana, it's not like that. It depends on who you get. So now let's talk about that and how that affects everyday life for returnees, that you don't even know like how much something is going to cost. It can say it's going to cost a certain amount, but once you get there, that's not the reality of the situation. All right, so let's go. So the following account comes from, she's a content creator. Let me put her up here so y'all can see. There she is. Okay. This comes from, her name is Michelle. Let me pull it back up here. from a lady named Michelle who moved to the United States to Ghana with her 2 daughters and her granddaughter. I thought that was really neat. So her daughter, her 2 daughters and her granddaughter, they all moved to Ghana. They had never even been there before. No visit, no nothing. They just up and went. So upon arrival, their passports were stamped for a limited stay, typically around 3 months. To remain longer, they were told they got to get a green card and a residence permit. All right, so let's go from there. So remember, they in Ghana, and they was told once they got their passport stamp, everything is good. But if you want to stay longer, you got to get that residency permit. All right, so let's go from there. Let me pull this up. I'm going to pull up the summary so we can get straight to the point. This was sad, though. I really feel sorry for her because this is a sad situation right here, y'all.
You have to, your passport is stamped with the duration, the time that you get to stay in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be honest, when I landed, I didn't think about that. It was when I was asked by
She said she didn't think about how long she was going to stay.
Somebody I met by another friend who facilitated me getting here. When she asked about the time that was stamped in my passport and I checked, I think I had gotten about 3 months. So I think we came here in May. I think we were supposed to be leaving about July, August. And to stay beyond that, I would have had to source not just my Ghana card, because you have to get a Ghana card when you get here, but I also had to get a resident permit stamped in my passport. And that had to be done before the time you are allotted expired. Otherwise, you would have to pay some sort of fee or fine for overstaying. Okay. So before I got here, I was told that I would need to save 800 US for each of us to look about that resident permit.
Okay.
So outside of the pictures and a couple of other things, we had to pay for printing certain documents when we were finally taken to the agent. I will say agent because obviously now, looking back, it wasn't an official government person who dealt with it. It was probably a private person. What got me going after yesterday was the amount of money.
Now listen to this.
That I spent then compared to what I'm hearing now. So that's one of the sad things about coming here and not knowing certain things. Even if persons are helping you, you don't know who is who. You don't know if they have an agenda.
And this is what KWAME was talking about. Okay. You don't know who is who or what is what. Like he said, I sit back and I watch how y'all treat each other. Whoever this was guiding this lady, they scam this lady so bad, it doesn't even make sense how bad she was scammed. And I kept saying, why didn't she just look it up for herself? But she's believing these other people because she thinks they're her friends. She thinks they have her best interest at heart, and they do not. They do not. Their goal is to make money off of her, and that's it.
Saying the person had an agenda. I'm just saying you just don't know who is who. So I ended up
they have an agenda to make money.
$400 US plus other fees to sort out our resident permit. Yesterday, one of the things I wanted to do was sort out getting what they call a government health card. And it was while doing that and looking about that, I'm going to talk about that in another video because I don't want to this one to be too long. But it was during the day I got a call from a gentleman who I reached out to. I met him recently through a friend. A friend who told me that when she got here, she got 3 years on her resident permit, stamped in her passport. 3 years. Keep that in mind. 3 years. The $2,400 US that I paid gave me 1 year.
Wow.
So last year to this year. So it expires this year, June. 2,400. I keep saying it because every time I think about that amount of money, the young lady who got 3 years for the first time, because she was here 2 years before I came here, she got 3 years on her permit. She paid nothing like that. I'm trying to roll this out so that you guys understand the ramifications of some of these costs. Because I don't remember what cost she told me she paid for her 3 years, but I am just hung up on the fact that she got 3 years for way less, because I know it comes nowhere close to. And for persons who don't understand my feelings, let I use that simple term, for persons who don't understand the feelings regarding the cost, at that time, the US was about somewhere between 11 and 12 cedis.
So the dollar was trading for 11 or 12 cedis. The dollar was trading the other day for 9 cedis. Why are you encouraging people to come to a place where our currency is basically nothing? Now you can't even get double. You get 9 to 1
per US dollars. So it's not, if you measure tailor it to the US, no, to the cost, no, it's $10 last time I checked over the weekend. It was $10.95 cedis, 10 cedis, 95 pesos for 1 US. And at the time it was more. So it's not 8,000 that I spent, 8,000 cedis. I spent almost 10 or over 10,000 cedis for 1 year.
See?
On my permit. And based on the cost, the young lady introduced me to the person who gave her the 3 years in that first year. Right? So she just came here and she got 3 years. The price that I got yesterday, because I ironed it out with the person she introduced me to, was if I didn't know, I would end up paying $900 per person. Right? What I'm finding out too is that $900 would be per person for 1 year. If I'm going after 3 years, which I can, maximum I can get is 5 years. So it would be 5 9s 45, 4,500 cedis for 5 years. And I spent almost 10,000 or more for 1 year. Yeah. Well, if you look at the 800 US, but it would be for person. I forgot that part. It's 800 for me, $800. So it's almost 10,000 or more than 10,000 for me only. So you're looking at over 40,000 cedis for all of us together. Last year when I came here, it's even more heart-wrenching. I just keep imagining what that money, just half of that, could have done to my house.
Wow.
But let me not digress. Yes. So if I go after renewal, no. I pay 900 cedis, not 900 US, 900 cedis per person. And if I am going after 3 years, it would be 2,601, I think, for this. This is a quote that he gave me, 2,601 cedis for me. So it would be almost 10 for all of us together for 3 years. I reached out to another person who was referred to me. And by the time I got this information, I realized I could ask that other agent, because that person quoted 3,000, I think it was 558 cedis for me. And I told them that that would be times 4. So I reached out again last night to find out how much time would I get on the permit for that 3,500 cedis. And the person said 1 year.
What?
So here is this person I was introduced to, who told me that if I was renewing now, I would pay 900.
Wow.
900 for 1 year. So it would be 900 times 3. I'm saying 27. I'm not sure how he got 2,600 and whatever. But even if it's 3,000 cedis, it's 3,000 cedis for 3 years, as opposed to 3,500 and all for 1 year.
Wow, y'all.
And if it fluctuates a bit based on the value of the dollar, right?
Basically,
but the disparity in the prices is out of this world, and I'm just trying to put that 40,000 cedis out of my mind.
See, I know she is.
And move on, because she can't do anything about it.
Because she can't, she can't do nothing about it. So if she continue to think about it, it's just going to eat her up. It's going to eat her up. So she just got to let that go. She just got to let that go. But KWAME, this is what we say to you. Look at her. Look what she's going through. That's wrong. And I know you would agree that this was wrong, the way this lady was treated. And nowhere ever does 2 wrongs make a right. But my point is, there's wrong done on both sides. Both sides are doing foul.
But I just had to share this because I'm not sure what your experiences are going to be when you get here. I'm just telling you how extreme it can be if you're not. I'm hoping this information can make you put persons who come in a better position to shop around and make sure they don't get shafted or scammed. I was also advised, before I forget this, that I can just walk into one of these immigration places and I pay just $60. So 600 and something cedis. Of course, that would fluctuate based on the value of the dollar.
Right.
But at this point, it's about $60. $60 per person for you to apply. What I'm not sure of, and I may end up checking, is that $60 for 1 year, or can you decide any amount a year? I suspect, based on what I'm hearing and based on how I've seen things going here, that the 60 is possibly just for a year.
Yeah.
Permit.
So this is Miss Michelle. I don't know who Miss Michelle dealing with, but whoever she dealing with, they don't have her best interests at heart. And that's just what he was talking about. He see how we treat each other. Now, whoever Miss Michelle is working with, they setting her up, taking advantage of her all the way around. And this is a reality for us in Ghana. What did I tell you at the beginning? We overpay for everything. Overpay, inconsistent prices, no stability. Michelle was told she was going to save $700. No, I'm sorry, $800 per person with her residence permit. When actually she paid. So they told her, y'all, if you do it this way, you're going to save $800 per person. She paid $2,400, okay, with plus additional fees. And the additional fees came up to that $3,200. She went through an agent, which was additional fee, and all of that was for a 1-year permit. So she was paid 10,000 Ghanaian cedis for a 1-year permit. And guess what? A friend talked her into it, of course. A friend obtained a 3-year permit for a significantly lesser price. Fear of missing out. Look, I got mine for less than that. If you go to this person, I'm sure you can get yours for less than that for you too. And she hooked her up with a contact. See, I'll give you a little bit. If I give you a customer, you gonna kick me out? Yeah. Same country, same permits. Why the different prices? Michelle later learned that renewing directly at the immigration office, see, she didn't do that, that it would have been 900 cedis per person for 1 year, which is 2,600 cedis for 3 years. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, I'm getting sleepy now. All right. So she was advised that a direct application at immigration office, okay, y'all, would cost her $60, which is approximately 600 cedis. She said she was unsure that the cost applied for 1 year or, 3 years. We heard her say that. So this is a problem. The uncertainty is part of the problem. Or longer. She don't even know. She doesn't even know. It's not clear. All right. So the uncertainty is part of the problem. The lack of standardization. It's not standardized. No. Prices vary widely. Information depends on who you seek it from and whether you use an agent. Michelle advises shopping around, asking multiple sources to avoid being shafted or scammed. Same price, different prices. Again, KWAME, no clear standard. Why would she have to go through this in your country? Here's my opinion, and then we're going to get off here. My clearly stated opinion. When residency permits lack transparency, land documents can be reversed and demolitions happen after investments are completed. So think, if the residency permit part is not clear, you think the rest of it is going to be clear? No. It's going to be all of this that we see happening. Demolitions happen after investments are complete. The issue is not outsiders gaming the system. We're not gaming the system. The game is in place. What happens is somebody gets there, some of us get there, and they start playing along with the game. The other of us, we're just victims of the game. The issue is a system. The system in West Africa, in Africa in general, is inconsistent, it's opaque, and it's reactive. You don't know what's going on in that system. Like I just said, that system is reactive. It's inconsistent, and it is not clear. So how do you do business, especially buy land, especially citizenship, with inconsistency? Things are not clear. and people are reactive. Because you see what they did. They gave the little boy citizenship, Stevie Wonder citizenship, any famous country, any famous person who came to their country, they gave them citizenship. But anybody who over there working hard, the average person, you ain't getting nothing. How does that work? People don't feel targeted because they're entitled. They feel targeted because the rules change after compliance. And that is the problem. After the people comply, Ghana will come in and change the rules. They will come in and they will move the marker. And that is so wrong. KWAME, that is so wrong to do these people like this. I don't agree with the way my people treat us. I don't agree with the way we treat each other. I know they scam each other. I know they lie to each other. But just like my people I take responsibility for my people, you got to take responsibility for yours. Because this, what they do, it's not right either. If Ghana wants sustainable diaspora engagement, the rule of law must be this. It must be predictable, transparent, and consistent before money changes hands. So from the time we apply for those visas, things must be predictable, transparent, and consistent. If it is not, just go for a visit, honey, and come back. Just go for a visit and come back. So you know what? Kiki Loves Nigeria exists to document what people are experiencing, what people are experiencing in Africa. I'm not here to sell dreams, and I'm not here to push fear. I'm here to tell the truth, to have it documented. Every time I do a video, it's documented. It's in history. All right, let me see what y'all saying. Hey, Mr. Scent Policeman. How are you? What's your question? Black love. Black love. Honey, that is not black love. If that's love, I can do without that. All right, where we at? Every time I think we're going to get off here early, we don't. Small girl. She said as fast as they say, small. Right, you know that's the game. Treated like straw in the wind. See? That's sad. That's so sad. Africa takes humility. Being a boss in Africa will make you broke quick. Yeah, it will. Yeah, these people were trying to make it though. But it goes both ways. It seemed like the scam is both ways. Yes, that's proof positive from listening to these misdeeds. Yes, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Growth is not absent in Africa. It is being strangled by a political grip. Yep. That views the empowerment of the people as a threat to its own survival. And I agree with that 100%. Be Israel. Yeah, I do. They do. That's sad. When you see the growth of your people, when you see your people developing intellectually and socially, when you see that as a threat, and you want to keep your people docile, you want to keep them at a certain level of educational attainment, and that's a country where y'all want to be, that's a country where you want to spend all your money, are you sure about that? Because this is exactly right. How? How could your people's growth be a threat to your own survival? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Okay, hold on, y'all. I think I'm going the wrong direction. Yep, I don't get that at all. I've given you 2 clear examples of what we went through, where we've lost our money, lost nice amounts of money, where we thought we were following the rules, and we got taken, not by Black Americans. Well, I believe in Michelle's case, I believe a Black American was in on that. Yeah, but them other people, those was Ghanaians who was at those places taking that money. Growth is not absent in Africa. Okay, I read that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So what do we say about all of that? 2 documented cases. My friends, make friends with Africans in the diaspora and ask them about the lands and culture and investment possibilities. I wouldn't be invest in nothing. I don't want to invest in your own country. Clean up your own backyard. That's what the Ghanaians do. They invest in their own country. Why can't we invest in ours? They change on a dime all over the place. And that's what she was saying. There's inconsistency everywhere. There's no consistency. Operate unjustly. Yes. That's what they're saying. It appears at this point that even if you do research, yes, it don't work, because going there is completely different than what you're reading. It's completely different. Okay, what's this one saying? Black people are afraid of words and instructions. It's called an IQ. Is that tax? Reading is fundamental. I don't know what you're talking about, team member. All right, now let me get out here. Yeah, it does. Money talks. All right, let's look at this. Yes, team member, all over the world. Exactly. All right, y'all. I just wanted to come on here and respond to Kwame's comment. I have a lightened. So, and that's what we did. We came on here, we responded to Kwame's comment, and now we about to get out because I'm getting sleepy. No, there's no law. There's law, but are the laws enforced? They don't have the money to enforce the laws. That's the problem. They don't have the money to enforce the law. It takes money to enforce the law. Are you going to do a live on the man who had a heart attack in Gambia? I think a young lady said he was from. Yep. She gave me his information. She mailed it to me. Yes. We'll do that one probably next week. The next time I'm on here, I have to do that meeting today, and I had to do this one. So I had to do something that was light, and Kwame stuff was easy to do. I overpay for everything, but I try not to overpay as much as the next time. All right, y'all. Let's see what this one says. We're looking for a spiritual homecoming, but they're looking at us through the lens of suspicion. Seeing a Westerner instead. Yes, exactly. They don't see you the way you think they see us. No, they don't see us as brothers and sisters. No, they see us as white people with the money. They took 1 million plus from Michael Blackson. Who took 1 million plus from him? Exactly. Okay. I think that's it, y'all. So let me go to the script and make sure I got everything, because I don't want to miss anything. Yep, I went through that whole thing. All right, y'all. So Kwame, we feel like, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. We deserve transparency. We deserve consistency. Because anybody will deserve that. If anybody is visiting anybody's country, that's just common decency. Somebody comes to your house, They expect you to be honest. They expect you to be transparent. They expect you to be consistent. They don't expect you to treat the next person different than the way they treat them. But you're saying, no, we tearing down everybody's houses. It ain't just y'all house. We tearing down everybody's houses. Yeah. So we're not treating you any differently. We're saying the consistency with the prices, well, she didn't go to the government. She went to somebody else and she was listening to other people. So it looks like it goes both ways. All right. To me, it goes both ways. They're giving it to us and we're giving it to them. But the thing that stand out in my mind the most is when he said how we treat each other. That's the part. How we treat each other and how he sit back and watch how bad we treat each other. That's the part we need to be very ashamed about. Good night, Kiki in chat. Thanks, Kiki. As always, I appreciate. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm glad you learned a lot. All right, y'all. I am off of here. Thank you so much for joining us. Kwame, you can tell me what you think. Drop your comment and tell us what you think. But you already told us what you think, honey. The reason why I said that is because talking to African diaspora about the countries is part of the research. It is. I don't say to go and invest. Okay. Yes, don't. Please. Don't be doing that. Because you going to visit alone is an investment. Like, you're going to give people money. You're going to, wherever you stay, you're going to pay a lot to stay there. When you go out, you're going to pay a lot for food. So you're already investing. You ain't got to do all that. All right, y'all. That's all I have. I will see y'all next week. And I think we're going to talk about, let me put that on here. I got the email from somebody about a British man who passed away in Gambia. So we're going to do him next week. I'm going to give Ghana and the village people a break for a minute. I need a break from them. It's just too much. All right, night, y'all. I can't see that. What you say? Africa has fertile land, so why do people focus on lack? Greed. Because of greediness. I don't want to share it with you. Hey, London lady. Thanks, Kiki, and thanks, Kwame. Yeah, thanks, Kwame. We appreciate you. All right, good night, London lady, and y'all, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Have a good evening, y'all. All right, I love y'all. See y'all next week. Bye. All right, y'all be good.